Today I'm going to be doing series that I need to finish in 2021 because we all know I absolutely suck at reading series. I feel like I look like someone's mom showing up to a PTA meeting with this necklace and this shirt. Like, I feel like the shirt by itself doesn't give you mom, but the necklace and the shirt gives you mom. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. So the first books I have are Sarah J Maas books. As we all know, I suck at reading Sarah J Maas books. I don't know what it is, but I just suck. Like, I'm reading Court of Thorns and Roses. Well, I've read Court of Thorns and Roses. I've read Acromath. Acromath wasn't what everybody else said it was. It wasn't giving what it was supposed to give. I'm gonna reread it because maybe I wasn't in the right mindset when I read it the first time. So I'm gonna reread Acromath and then go on the rest of the series. It's really only 4 books in the series, and I want to read Nesta's book. I don't really care about Nesta as a character, but everyone I follow on book Twitter loves her, so maybe I'm missing something and I need to reread it so that I can see what the girlies are seeing, because I'm not seeing it. Yeah, I really need to finish ACOTAR. And then I also need to finish Throne of Glass. I made it pretty far in Throne of Glass. I made it to Queen of Shadows, which also happens to be my favorite book in the series. And it gave me my favorite quote of all time, which is, "Let's go rattle the stars." And I'm going to get a tattoo of that when I can because I just love that quote so much. I'm supposed to be reading the rest of the series with Jocelyn. So Jocelyn is on Air of Fire right now, and I might just jump in and read it with her, or I might start with Queen of Shadows. But I hated Air of Fire, so I'm not going to do that to myself. So I'm going to jump in on Queen of Shadows, and then we're going to finish the rest of the series. And then once we get to Empire of Storms, Mika's going to jump in, and we're all going to finish the rest of the series together. So we're basically using Jocelyn to hold us accountable because I read the series for the first time last year, and I just have this really huge issue with reading series. If there's too many books in the series, I'm gonna lose momentum. Like, I need to read them as they're coming out or take breaks in between them, because like even with romance series, like I know it's a romance series, like I will love the first book and then no other book in the series will be as good as the first book. Like, I never give the first books any type of like 5 stars unless I read it as it came out. So the Cruel Prince, the Poppy War, like those all get 5 stars because they just didn't dwindle down for me because I'm reading them as they came out. I have such a problem with reading big series because of the reason that the further I get, the less I enjoy the books. And Throne of Glass is actually the only exception to me enjoying the books. Like, the more I went on into Throne of Glass, the more I liked the series. But usually it's the way backwards. But I think I stopped reading because I found that book that I love, and I got scared that like no other book in the series I would love as much as I loved Queen of Shadows. And a bitch is terrified, low-key, to finish the rest of the series. So I've been holding it off. I never lie to you guys, so why would I start now? And then the next book we have is The Witcher. I watched The Witcher on Netflix. I loved it. Love Jesker. Jesker is a lot different in the books than he is in the TV show, but I love TV Jesker. I love Geralt. I love Yennefer. I grabbed the wrong book. I've already read this, but the fact that I have to get through, I keep looking at myself because look at me. I'm so beautiful. I still have another short story collection to get through before, and I high-key don't remember anything that happened in this, so I'm low-key gonna have to reread this and then the other short stories before I can jump into the rest of the series. Like, dang, but they just look so beautiful on my shelves. Like, look at that. Like, I just cannot wait to finish the series, and I can't wait till season 2 comes out because I love season 1 so much. And personally, I watched the show before reading the books, and I don't think it took away from my experience, and it low-key helped me get through the books a lot more, if I'm being honest with you guys. And the next book is The Vampire Academy. So I started The Vampire Academy in October. I made it to book 2, and then I stopped reading it. It's nothing wrong with the series or anything, but something really sad happens in book 2, and I needed time. I needed time before I finished. But now I think that I am okay enough to finish, so I'm gonna finish so that me and Jocelyn can buddy read Bloodlines together. And this year I've low-key been doing better at reading series, so I just hope that I get better and better. And I have Wicked Saints. Now, the final book in this series isn't out yet. It comes out in 2021, but I haven't read Ruthless Gods, and it's like, I know that I like the book. Like, I read it twice, but for some reason I keep getting scared that I don't like the book. I keep having this fear that like I psyched myself up to like this book and I don't like it as much as I think that I like it. And so every time I want to read Ruthless Gods, I get scared. And I'm like, what if I really didn't like Wicked Saints? And I like hate Ruthless Gods, but I still need to read it. And then the last book, not gonna own that book physically. It's gonna look like a duology on my shelf because the last book is hideous. I don't even know how to explain this book. It's just so hard to explain. It's like a basic, I don't want to say basic fantasy because it's not, but it's like your basic fantasy where there's like a war between two and one is eviler, or there's like two countries and are like evil. It's kind of like Shadow and Bone, low-key, but just darker, and like literally it's just like Shadow and Bone. Like if you like Shadow and Bone, you're gonna like Wicked Saints. And then I have Skyward by Brandon Sanderson, which is the only Brandon Sanderson book I read, and I actually loved Skyward. It took me so long to read it for some reason, and usually when I start a book it takes me so long to finish it, but I start this book, I think I read this book throughout February, and I gave it 4 stars, and I love this book. And the third book is actually supposed to come out in 2021, but I haven't even gotten to the second one yet. So I really want to get to the second one. And he has Charlie Bowater design his covers, and y'all know I love Charlie Bowater, so I just can't wait to see what the cover looks like. And I love this book. Like this is how I know that I'm gonna love Brandon Sanderson, because I really enjoyed this book. I think I only gave 4 stars because I don't know why. I mean, obviously if I would have given it 5 stars, I would have moved on to the second book already. Like it's not like my all-time favorite, but I really enjoyed it, like, which is literally what a 4-star is. So I really enjoyed the book, but I don't know why I didn't just jump to the second one. But I love the characters, I love the banter, I love the relationships, I love everything that's going on in this book. Like I love the writing, I love the way Brandon Sanderson writes women, because usually my biggest fear when male authors write women is that they're gonna write them in a certain way. But low-key, if I just picked up this book and hadn't known that Brandon Sanderson was a man, it would have read the same if a female author read it. Like it wasn't anything weird in it, it wasn't anything weird about her body. Like it literally was just written so well. So this is literally how I know that I'm gonna love Brandon Sanderson, and I just need to read more of his books. Like I don't already own all of them anyways. And the next book is Children of Blood and Bone. So this book, I don't know, this is weird because the rest of the series isn't out yet, but I haven't read the second one, and the second one was pushed back, which meant that all the other books were pushed back, I think. And like I haven't heard anything about all the other books. Tommy Adeyemi didn't drop a book this year in this series, so there's that. And I was just so scared to read the second book because there are a lot of like bad reviews for it, like so many bad reviews for it, and a lot of people just didn't like the way it was written. So I just kind of got scared. I've just been seeing mixed reviews, and I try so hard not to let reviews ruin whether I read a book or not, but sometimes I fall to the peer pressure in books, literally sometimes. So lastly we have The Last Magician. I gave this book 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. It's about time travel, and I can't remember I have to reread it, but I own the second book, and then the third book was supposed to come out, the third and final book was supposed to come out this year, but it actually is supposed to come out in December this month, but it actually got pushed back to about March or April, so that gives me time to reread this book and read the second one so I can be prepared for the third one, because these covers are cool. I really like the idea of like time travel, and these books are actually really good. They're not really talked about much on BookTube, and like everybody says that when they read it. Now I don't want to say everybody and they're like, that's kind of a contradiction themselves, but a lot of people when they read this book, like when people read this book, they're always like, oh, this book isn't hyped, and it low-key isn't. A lot of people just don't care about this book, but I personally think this book is really good, and I need to reread this book really soon because I personally really enjoyed it. I thank you for watching this video. If you watched all the way to the end, put a guitar emoji in the chat. I don't know, it was just the first thing I could think of. That is such a strange emoji, but yeah, thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.